Brave little tin soldier. Once upon a time, there lived 25 tin soldiers who were all brothers. It could be because they were melted from the same old tin spoon. They looked dashing with their rifles in their arms and their perfect uniforms. When the lid of the box they were in was opened, a boy cried out excitedly, "Ah, tin soldiers!" It was the first thing in the world the soldiers heard. The little boy then lined up the soldiers he received as his birthday present. They all looked the same, except for one, who was missing a leg. The lid wasn't enough to fill his footprint, so he could only have one leg instead of two. But he is also brave like the other soldiers. On the table where the soldiers were lined up were other toys. Among them, a very beautiful paper castle. Behind the windows, you can see amazing rooms and a small mirror in front of it that looks like a lake. Above it were waxy swans, moving gently and gracefully. However, the most beautiful was a little girl standing in front of the castle door, which was also made of paper. She was wearing a skirt of pretty cloth and a blue scarf around her neck, decorated with a large glittering sequins. Since the beautiful girl was a dancer, she spread out her arms gracefully and raised her leg up high. So the tin soldiers, who did not see it clearly, thought that the girl only had one leg like him. "Wow, she has one leg like me," muttered the tin soldier. But suddenly, he felt worried because the girl was elegant and lived in a castle, whereas he lived in a box with his brothers. "It doesn't matter," he said to himself a moment later. "I should get acquainted with her." He stared at her for a long time, hiding behind a box that was on the table. When night fell, all the tin soldiers were put in their box, but not the other toys. As everyone in the house went to bed, the other toys, waiting to come to life, burst into joy. They started playing and having fun. They visit each other, salute, fight with crossword, and finally have a magnificent dance party. The tin soldiers, furious at being put in their box, somersaulted like madmen. However, they were never able to lift the lid on the box and missed the party. At that time, the nutcracker danced while a pencil wrote in all directions on a blackboard. In the midst of the joyful crowd, only the little tin soldiers and the paper girl who did not move. The girl remained standing straight and graceful, on one pointed leg and outstretched arms. Meanwhile, the tin soldier stood bravely on one leg and was amazed to see the paper girl. The midnight bell suddenly rang. Instantly, the lid of the snuff box opened. There was a troll coming out of the snuff box. He said loudly to the little tin soldiers, "Hey tin soldiers, don't stare at her like that." Because the tin soldiers didn't seem to want to listen, Troll sneered and said again harshly, "You really don't want to listen to what I have to say, do you? Just wait. You will pay the price tomorrow." The next morning, after everyone was awake, they accidentally put the tin soldiers by the window. He fell from the third floor, blown away by the strong wind, or maybe pushed by the evil troll. He fell horribly. He landed headfirst. His rifle jammed between two boulders. A boy came down in a hurry to get it, and found nothing. The other soldiers refrained from shouting for him. It started to rain heavily. When the rain stopped, two children playing in the street found the tin soldier.
Look, there's a tin soldier. Come on, make him sell the deeds.
They made a boat out of sheets of newspaper and put the soldiers on it. Then they ran after him, clapping their hands as the boat sailing along, drifting with the current. Even though the boat sailed fast and the waves were high, the tin soldiers kept his eyes on him and carried his rifle, resolute in spite of the danger. Suddenly, the boat went into a culvert. How dark it is in here. What will happen now? Thought the tin soldiers. Is this all the trolls doing? I just wanted to get to know the paper girl. A rat living under the sewer awakened him from daydreaming.
Hey you! You got your passport?
The little tin soldiers didn't answer, but grew even tighter, touched the rifle in his arms, and the boat moved on.
Stop it! Stop it!
Shouts the rat angrily.
He doesn't pay the toll and doesn't have a passport.
However, the boat was already drifting away, drifting with the ever-increasing current which got stronger over time. The tin soldiers had seen a light at the end of the culvert, but suddenly he heard a roar that made him anxious. It seems the culvert emptied into a large and dangerous place. The small boat plunged downwards, then circled on its own before it took in water and sank. The tin soldiers felt the water cover him again. He thought back to the girl in the stunning castle, whom he couldn't seem to see anymore. The paper boat was submerged and torn apart in an instant, while the tin soldiers was swallowed by a fish. It was pitch black inside the fish, but the soldiers held his ground and held his rifle in his arm. Meanwhile, the fish moved in all directions. Suddenly, the fish stopped moving and was stabbed by a knife. Someone's voice screamed, "There are tin soldiers in this fish's stomach!" It turned out that the fish that had swallowed the tin soldiers had been caught, sold at the market, and to be cooked in a kitchen. While the waiter was gutting the fish, he found a tin soldier. The servant took out the tin soldier carefully. He broke it into the room for everyone to see. The tin soldier was not particularly proud. When the tin soldier was placed on the table, he realized it was the same room he had been taken out of his box from. "This is awesome." He saw again the same children, the same toys on the table, and the beautiful castle with the graceful paper girl. The tin soldier was deeply moved. Finally, he can return to his original place. The tin soldier then saw a paper girl who was still standing firm with one leg up. "Hello, paper girl. I am a tin soldier. Nice to meet you." Suddenly, for no apparent reason, one of the boys in the house took the tin soldiers and threw him into the fiery furnace. That must be the evil troll from the snuff box. Despite feeling the extreme heat, the brave tin soldier still smiled, looking at the paper girl. The paper girl also finally smiled back at him. The tin soldier felt thoughts. Suddenly, a door opened. The paper girl was blown away, flew through the air like a fairy, and joined the tin soldier in the flame. They were spirited, finally united. In the morning, the maid who was cleaning the ashes found a small piece of heart made of tin in a pretty sequin which was not burned by fire.